Good morning to all of you. In the last lecture, we have seen that the constructions aspect of a new railway track. Okay, my voice is audible. Hello, More. Hello.
Audible, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So in the last lecture, we had discussed regarding about the aspect of new railway track constructions. Okay, in which we was saying that if you want to construct a new railway track, then as a civil engineering point of view, what is the role and responsibility while constructions of a new railway track? So we look into considerations. The first, the alignment of the railway track. Okay. Once we have fixed the alignment, construct the embankment, and after constructions of the entire formation of the embankment for the railway line, new railway line, then we have to fix the rail on a particular formation level. So all the methods we had discussed in the last lectures. So in today's lecture, we are going to cover one of the important article, that is the aspect of a bridge constructions. Okay, so I would like to share with all of you the presentation. Now if you see here, we have discussed these things in the last lecture, that is the constructions of a new railway track. Okay, so while constructions of the new railway track, we have the three methods for the constructions of the new railway tracks, and we have the different stages also. Then in today's lecture, the another important aspect of a bridge construction we are going to see in detail. So this topic we are going to cover in today's lecture, that is the aspect of a bridge constructions. Okay, now these are the content we are going to talk about in today's lecture, that is the introductions to bridge engineering, then investigations for bridge engineering, then we have the standards for road bridges, we have certain standards for railway bridges, then bridge superstructure and we have the substructure, then bridge foundations and constructions of a bridge. So these are the content we are going to talk about in today's lecture. Now content of our construction technology, which has certain learning objective. Now as far as concerned with the bridge engineering point of view, as per your syllabus point of view, we have only the aspect of a bridge constructions, but we have covered a lot of another more information with related to the bridge constructions also. So what are the learning objective from this today's article? So first objective is to gain a comprehensive understanding of a bridge loading. Okay. So while designing of the bridge, we should understand the different types of the loading will be there on the superstructure. Okay. So we should know the different bridge loading. That is one of the important objective we are going to learn in today's article. Then the second objective is to develop a critical appreciation and comprehensive understanding of methods of structural idealization and the analysis of a structure. That is the second most important learning objective from the today's article. That is to develop a critical appreciation and comprehensive understanding of methods of structural idealization and the analysis of bridge structures.
File number 30, Alumni Association. File
Hmm?
number 30, Alumni Association.
Then the third important learning objective, that is to develop a critical awareness of bridge inspection and the assessment. Okay. So these are the we can say the learning objective of today's article. Then what is a bridge? Okay. The first question in front of us, that is, what do you mean by a bridge, or what is a bridge structures? Okay. So a bridge is the passage, or you can say the structure which is built across the river for the purpose of the transportation of vehicles from one part to the another part of the river or any valleys or any barrier. We called it as a bridge. Okay. So bridge is a structure built to a span for you can say the physical obstacles without closing the way underneath, such as a body of water, a valley, or even the road, for the purpose of providing passage over the obstacles. So as far as concerned with the bridges, we have different component parts is there. First one is the substructures. Okay. Then we have the superstructures. So whatever may be the foundations we are going to construct for the bridge piers, and whatever may be the piers we are going to construct, so that is known as the substructures. Then we have the bridge bearing here, then we have the deck slab for transportation purpose, so we called it as a superstructure. So bridge is itself is divided into two you can say the structures, substructure and superstructures. Now this is a general definitions regarding about the bridge. Then what is the importance behind to construct a particular bridge? Okay. So the first importance things, or the importance behind constructions of the bridge is it provide the passage for transportations. Okay. It provide the passage for the lightweight vehicles, also for medium, also for heavy loaded vehicles from the for crossing of the river, crossing of the railway, or crossing of the roads, or crossing of the valleys. That is one of the first major, you can say, the importance of the bridge. Then the another importance of the bridge is its capacity governs the capacity of the traffic systems. For example, while aligning the bridges across the road or railway where the traffic problem will be there, then we have to construct a bridge. So that is it avoids the traffic problems where the problems such as the light loaded traffic having more problems on the highway, or even in case of the city areas also. So it avoids the congestion of the traffic or the traffic problems, then its a failure will result the distortions of the traffic flow. Okay, then great battles have been fought for the bridge. Recent examples of which is Operation Grand Slam was a key operation of the 1965, that is in case of the Indo-Pakistan war. So, while such operations, such war will be there or such battle will be there, then for transportation purpose, such kind of bridge, if we have ample bridges, then the transportations of the soldiers is also, you can say, possible from one junctions to the another junction or from one part to the another parts also. Then it referred to a plan drawn by the Pakistani army in 1965 to attack the vital anchor bridge in Jammu Kashmir. Okay, so the bridge was not only the lifeline of an entire infantry division in Jammu and Kashmir, but could also be used to threaten the Jammu and the important logistical point of for the Indian forces also. So whenever there will be obstacles, then we have to construct a good bridges for the purpose of the transportations also. So basically it provide or it strengthen the economy of the nations also. So whenever there is a the traffic congestions problem will be there, or whenever there is a the valley or the river, if you want to cross, then we have to construct the bridges for the efficient and safe transportation purpose. So that is the importance of the this particular article, that is the aspect of bridge constructions. Okay, then you can say a bridge is a key element in transportation system for three reasons. Okay, so look into considerations. These are the three reasons by which we have to construct a bridge. It's likely control the capacity. Okay, so whatever may be the traffic congestion problem will be there, and whatever may be the problems on the national highway, state highway, major district road, or even in case of the minor road or the village road. Now if you facilitate that particular way with the help of constructions of the bridges, then we have to control or we have to avoid the congestions of the traffic problems in case of the city area, in case of the village area, in case of the passing of the you can say the goods from one part of the city to another part with the constructions of the bridge. So such control the capacity is possible with the help of the bridges. Then it is the highest cost per kilometer. Okay, if the bridges fails, the system may fails. Okay, so for example, at this stage I would like to suggest you with the help of this particular sentence, if the bridge may fail, the system may fails. Okay, now if you want to transport the good from the city to another city within the country, or you can say from state to state, then if the good bridges if we have constructed, then we can easily do the transportations of any types of the you can say the goods from any part of the nations. Okay, but there will not be the facility on such highways, or you can say any types of the road, then you cannot save the transportation's time, you cannot save the economy also. So whenever there is a transportations, we have to construct the bridges across the river, across the valley, or even for crossing of the railway or crossing of the roads. So such kind of bridges we have to construct. So this is a little bit three reasons we have to look into considerations as far as concerned with the bridge point of view. Then the another importance things I would like to share with all of you. The classifications of the bridges. Okay, so the bridges is classified according to the material of the constructions. Okay, so we have the concrete bridge, we have the, as per as concerned with the material of the construction, the bridge may classified concrete bridge or the timber bridge, masonry, iron, steel, RCC, pre-stressed. So according to the material of the constructions, the bridge is classified into these 6 to 7 category. Then according to the form of the structures. Okay, so we have the beam bridges will be there, then truss bridge will be there, then arch bridge will be there, then cable stay bridge and suspension bridge. Okay, so according to the forms of the structure, the bridge is also classified into the 6 category: beam bridge, truss bridge, arch bridge, cable stay and the bridge. Now, the another important parts of the classification of the bridge according to the position of the bridge floor relative to the superstructure as a deck, through half through or the suspended bridge. Okay, so the deck bridge will be there, then through bridge, then half through bridge or the suspended bridge will be there according to the bridge floors. Okay, now the next classification of the bridges is according to the span of the bridge. We called it as a culvert. When the span of the bridge is less than 6 meter, then we called it as a culvert. Then if the span of the bridge is between 6 to 60 meter, then we called it as a minor bridge. Okay, and if the span of the bridge is above the 60 meter, then we called it as a major bridge. Okay, then according to the degree of indeterminacy as determinate or the indeterminate bridge. Okay, so according to the degree of determinacy, as far as concerned with this particular aspect of the structure, we classified as a bridge determinate or the indeterminate bridge. Then according to the arrangement of passage and the obstacle, so we called it as a aqueduct. Then what is aqueduct here? If you provide the canal or a river, for example, there will be a canal. Okay, canal is a passage for supplying the water for irrigations. In similar fashion, if you construct the bridges or the river and the river flow below the bridge, then we called it as a aqueduct. Then viaduct means road or railway over a valley, then we called it as a viaduct. Okay, so if you constructed bridge over a valley, crossing of the road or railway, then we called it as a viaduct. So according to the arrangement of passage and the obstacles, the bridge is classified as a aqueduct and viaduct. Okay, so this classification is also the important because in some of the competitive examinations such question is will be asked, what is aqueduct or what do you mean by the aqueducts? 4 option will be given. So when the bridges passes over the river, then we call it as aqueduct, and when the bridges is passes over a road or the railway or a valley, then we called it as a viaduct. Okay, then actually we are going to discuss in detail what is a bridge, then main parts and the types of the bridge. Okay, so in the last slide also we have seen that what is a bridge. So bridge is a structure carrying a load, path, railway, etc. across a river, road or other obstacles, then we called it as a bridge. So in simple sentences, bridge is a passage or the structure for transportation of the vehicle from one point to another point across a river, road, railway or the valleys also, then we called it as a bridge. So these are the main component parts of the bridge. So there are different types of the bridges. different types of the bridges contain different parts. So as far as concerned with the bridge point of view, we have the different component parts. So first component parts is the deck slab. Then we have the second component parts, abutment. Then we have the piles. Then we have the piers. Then girder. Then we have the rail track. So these are the component parts of the you can say the bridge. So what do you mean by the deck? What do you mean by the abutment? We will see here. So what is deck generally? So if you see here in this picture, in this photograph, you will see whatever may be the superstructure will be there, and the vehicle is running over these particular surfaces. Then this surface is called as the deck slab. Okay, so deck is the surface of a bridge to pass vehicles, goods, people, etc. from one side to the another side. Then we called it as a deck. So depending upon the importance of the road, it may be constructed for a national highway, or it may be constructed for the state highway, or it may be constructed for the other district road, or the district road, or the village road. So depending upon the importance of the road, then we are going to provide the different lanes on the deck also. Okay, so this portion, if you see in this particular, you can see in this particular pictures, the vehicles is running or this particular slab, then we called it as a deck slabs. Okay, so deck is the surface of a bridge for passage of this particular. Then below this is also this is also we called it as a deck slabs. Okay, so this is a advance, you can say, the bridge constructed nowadays across the India also, because if you see here, this is one of the upper parts of the bridge, and this is the lower parts of the bridge. Okay, so this is the modern bridges nowadays is constructing in across the India or out of the India, where the traffic problem will be there, or if you want to transport the vehicles across the river or valleys also. Then what is abutment? See here, whatever may be the wall we have constructed at the end of both sides of the bridge. I am focusing more on the both sides of the bridge. Then we called it as a abutment. So abutment refer to the substructure at the end of a bridge's span or dam, where on the structure superstructure rest or contact. So on both sides of the end of the bridges, we have to construct the abutment wall, and to protect from the erosion, we have to construct the this particular wall on both sides of the end of the river or end of the bridges. Then such kind of the wall we called it as a abutment. So the design of the abutment again depends upon the load which is coming from the bridges, and also the erosion from the rainwater. So the thickness is plays an important role while designing of the abutment in case of the bridges. So this is one of the important components of the bridge. Then what do you mean by the pile? Okay, so in case of the underwater constructions, whenever there is a loose soil, okay, then to strengthen the foundations of the bridge, okay, we have to insert the piles. So a pile is a structure that uses foundations consisting of a long piles which are made up of wood, concrete, or even steel, and which are hammered into the soft soil under the bridge foundations until the end of the pile reaches a hard layer of compacted soil or the rock. So to strengthen the bridge foundations, okay, whenever there is a loose soils or whenever there is a the soft soil will be there, then if you want to increase the bearing capacity of the soil, then we have to insert the piles below the ground level where until the hard layer of the compacted soil is reaches. So such kind of the pile we have to insert. Okay, we are not going into detail what are the different types of the piles or what are the methods by which we can insert the piles and then design of the pile. But as far as our today's content or as far as our syllabus point of view, you should understand the basic things. What is a pile? Uh, okay, so this is the general definitions of the pile. Then the another important thing is that we should look into considerations, that is the piers. Okay, so what is piers? So these are the vertical members. In case of the our the buildings, we called it as a column. Okay, so piers is the vertical members uh, uh, subjected to the tensions. Okay, subjected to compression, not a tension. Okay, whatever may be the load which is coming from the deck or from the vehicles, uh, all that load distributed evenly over the piers. So piers is a cylindrical member, vertical member carrying the you can say the vertical load or the compressions load coming from the vehicles, or even the self weight of the deck slab will come over this particular piers. So a bridge pier support the spans of the bridges and transfer the load from superstructure to the foundations. So pier should be strong enough to take the both vertical and the horizontal loads. So what is the main functions of these particular piers? The first main functions of the piers is transferring the superstructure vertical load to the foundations and resisting to the horizontal forces acting on the bridges. So these are the two major or the main functions of the piers. So again, what is the shape of the piers and the design of the piers is another interesting part. So I am here enlightening all of you regarding about the design or the design of this particular pier. Design means fixing the dimension. What should be the you can say the dimensions of this particular pier? It is rectangular or it is a square or it is hollow square. So the design of the piers is depending upon the hydraulics. Hydraulics means if you see here we have the water. Okay, so when the flood will occurs in this particular river, so due to the flood the discharge will increases. Okay, so as the discharge will increases, the pressure and the forces and the velocity of the water will increases due to the larger discharge flowing into this particular river. And to tackle this particular, you can say the discharge or to pass this particular discharge safely, then we have to design these particular piers according to the flood will occurs in this particular rivers. So the hydraulic is plays an important role while designing of the pier in case of the bridge component. So this is the one things I would like to say at this point about the piers. Okay. Now the next thing is that the girders. Okay. So what do you mean by the girders? Or a girder is a bridge, okay, is a bridge that uses girder as the means of supporting its deck. So look at this here. I have marked with the green rectangle here. So whatever may be the deck slab we have, or whatever may be the deck slab, all the deck slab is resting on this particular, you can, okay. So the common type of the modern steel girder bridge are plate girder and the box girder, okay. So we have the plate girder and the box girder. So this will transfer the load, or it will take the load from the deck, and this girder will transfer or the piers. So the girder plays an important role for transfer of the load from deck slab, and it will transfer that load to the bridge piers, okay. So these things we should look into considerations in case of the bridge girder. Then the another important the parts of the bridge is rail track, okay. So for this type of the rail track, normally road traffic is the main vehicle into the bridge, but if the train need to be passed through the bridge, rail track is the extra components, okay. So while aligning this type of the bridge for the railway track also, so this is the another important components we look into considerations, that is the rail track, okay. So such kind of bridge is also constructed for crossing the river or the valley for the railway, okay. Then if you see in this slide, we have the superstructure and we have the substructures of the bridges. Then we have the abutment, okay. So the abutment is constructed at the end of both sides of the bridges. So abutment is a wall over which the end of the bridges is rested, okay, and it also avoid the erosion of the sides. Then we have the roadway deck. So this is the roadway deck, and this is the passage for the water. So okay, so such kind of the you can say the component parts we can understand with the help of these particular photographs. Then again, in case of the crossing of the roads, okay, we have the bridges over the road, we have the superstructure here, then we have the substructures, then we have the deck slab, and we have the piers, okay, then we have the girders, okay, and we have the abutments. So here also we have the superstructure, then bridge bearing, then cap beam will be there, and these are the vertical members, we called it as a piers, okay. So such kind of component parts we should understand in case of the bridge. Then the materials and the fabrications. So for constructions of the bridge, we are going to use different types of the materials. So these are the materials we are going to use for the constructions of the bridges. So these are the materials, the masonry or the brick or the rock, then timbers, we have the reinforced concrete, then we have the pre-stressed concrete materials for the constructions of the bridge, the iron, then steel, and the composites. So these are the material we are going to use. And fabrications, prefabrications, we have the precast RC member and pre-stressed concrete panel members. Then cast in place, again we have the RC and PC. Then pre-tension, then post-tension member will be there. Then prefabricated, we have the steel. Then we have the rivet, and we have the bolted connections, riveted connections, such as for steel members and for the timber members. So these are the fabrication part, and these are the materials. So we look into considerations the materials and the fabrications Then we are going to see the one by one. The following are the main types of the bridges. A truss bridge will be there, then arch bridges, suspension, cable stayed, then slab bridge, box girder bridge. So these are the six main you can say the types of the bridge we are going to construct for the transportation purpose or for the crossing of a railway or roads. Then if you see here we have the river, then we have the truss bridge here. Now the bridges with truss are made by steel, two force member with only tension and compression. We have the tension member and we have the compression member. No bending movement is allowed in such type of the structures. Most suitable structure shape for the truss in triangulars. Okay, so if you we have to construct in a triangular shape. So such kind of the bridges is required whenever there is a the passing of the over the rivers. Okay. Then arch bridge will be there. So as far as concerned with the arch bridge, an arch bridge is a bridge with abutment at each end, okay, shaped as a curve arch. Such kind of arch we are going to construct. So at the end of this arch we have again piers, okay. Again we have the second arch, then two arches is rested or the piers, okay. Then again we have the another arch. So in this way we are going to construct the arch bridges, and then in the middle portion we have the deck slab for the transportation purpose. So arch bridge work by transferring the weight of the bridge and its load partially into a horizontal thrust restrained by the abutment at either sides. Then suspension bridge will be there. So see here again we have the steel concrete pier. On this particular concrete pier we have the steel compression members, okay. But a bridge in which the weight of the deck is supported by vertical cables. So these are the vertical cables here. In the green you can say the box I have marked the vertical cables, okay. So whatever may be the deck load which is balanced with the help of these vertical cables suspended from further cable that run between the towers and are anchored in the abutment at the end. So these are the steel towers. We have the main cables and then we have the vertical cables, and this is the deck slab for the purpose of vehicle transportation, and it is suspended over the vertical cables and the main cables, and these main cables are anchored with the abutment at the each end, okay. Then we have another important types of the bridge is cable stayed bridge. So a cable stay bridge has one or more towers, okay, that is known as pylons, from which cable supported the bridge deck. So again we have the greater or even in case of the Mumbai Bandra Wadadi Sea Link. So such kind of cable stay bridge we have constructed for major span you can say. Then we have another important bridges is the slab bridge, okay. So a short span bridge consisting of a reinforced concrete slab resting on the abutment or the piers. So in case of the small span for crossing of the small nala, so we are going to construct such type of the bridge that is known as the slab bridge. Then a box girder bridge will be there. So we have the different boxes in the form of box. below this deck slab, we have the deck slab is supported over this particular box girder. So such kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and according to the span of the bridge, we have to construct a different box girder in the I sections below the deck slab. So box girder bridge is a bridge in which the main beam consisting of the girders in the shape of a hollow box, okay, and this box is transferred the load or the this particular abatement or the piers, okay. Then as far as concerned with the beam or the girder bridge, so we have the vertical loads from the traffic, then we have the roadway deck slab, then below that we have the beam, and we have the vertical members, that is the piers, okay. Now the most basic types of bridge for the transportations, typically consisting of a beam simply supported on each side by support and can be made continuous ladder, okay. Typically expensive to build, its overall cost of the construction is expensive. So on the top portion of the deck slab it may come under the compression, and below that it may come under tensions. So if you look into considerations, when the something pushes down on the beam bends, its a top edge is pushed together and it is bottom is pulled apart, okay. So the upper part of such a beam or the girder bridge is come under the compression, and bottom portion of this deck slab is come under tension. Then if you see here, currently most of the beam bridges are precast in case of RC and PC, or the prefabricated. Most are simply supported. In some time it is made up of for the cantilever also, or sometime it is continuous also, okay. In case of the continuous, it is rested over more than two supports, that is known as the continuous supported, you can say the beam or the bridges. So such kind of arrangement also we can do, simply supported or cantilever or the continuous also. Then as far as concerned with the cantilever bridge, in case of the cantilever bridge, the roadway is constructed out from the piers in two directions at the same time, so that the weight on the both side counterbalance each other, okay. Notice that the larger section of the support to resist the negative movements, okay. So this is the such kind of cantilever bridges is constructed in Scotland over a span of 521 meter long. Then we have another important types of the bridges is the truss bridge. So in case of the truss bridge, all the beam in a truss bridge are straight, okay. Trusses are made up of by small beams together and can support a large amount of weight, and thus they span greater distances. Typically, the span length of this particular truss bridge is 40 meter to 500 meter. Then we have the another important bridges is the suspension bridges, okay. So we have the tower here. The tower is made up of with the steel as a superstructure, and below that we have the piers. Then we have on both sides the abatement, and we have the roadway deck, and we have the vertical load from the traffic, and we have the vertical cables also. So the suspension bridges need to have very strong main cables. The main disadvantage is that if you not design these particular main cables, then there will be a chances of failures. So while designing of these particular main cables, a greater care has to be taken. Then cables are anchored at the abatement. So the all the cables are anchored with the greater cares. It require a huge experience to construct such type of the bridge. So in case of London Towers bridge, it is constructed in 1894 in UK. So such kind of the suspension bridge is also one of the important types of the bridge we should know. Now, in this slide, if you see all in one, you can say we have the beam bridge, then we have the truss bridge, we have the cantilever types of the bridge, we have the arch type of the bridge, then we have the suspension or cable stayed bridge. So this slide is gives a brief idea how the shape and how the view you can see to identify the different types of the bridge from each other. So this is another important picture we can consider for doing the classifications of the bridges or to understand the shape of the bridges from each other. Okay. Then while designing of the bridge or while analysis of the bridge, we should look into considerations this particular aspect, that is the span length. Okay, then span length, then bridge length, then beam spacing, then material available, then site condition as far as concerned with the foundation, height, space constraint, then speed of the constructions, then aesthetics, cost, assets for maintenance. So these are the various aspects we look into considerations while designing of the bridge and while constructions of the bridge. Okay, so the constructions of the bridge or design of the bridge, analysis of the bridge is depends upon these particular factors. Then we look into considerations these things also, that is the established requirement, then understand the context, then setting design objective and the principles, then develop design, then we have to do the analysis and we have to do the design and we have to implement. So these are the stages or the process we must follow in case of the bridge constructions. So we will stop at this moment. Now, if anybody is having any questions, you can ask. Sachin Chauhan,
Yes, sir.
any question?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, if you don't have any doubt, any questions, then I am going to stop the recording.